start with that.
So what do you do when you have a lot of leftover ham, when you only have 2 people in your house, and you're sick of eating sandwiches? We make tortellini with ham and vegetables. So this is what I'm going to be doing tonight. I'm going to be boiling up some 3-cheese tortellini. These are just the ones that you can buy in the refrigerated section of any grocery store. I'll throw these in carefully. Give them a stir. And while those are boiling, I'm going to start on my back burner here. This is just a vegetable steamer with water in it because I'm going to be steaming some of the different veggies that I'm going to put in our pasta. And I'm also going to be making a garlic infused oil that has some basil and some oregano and some ground black pepper. That will be our sauce for the pasta. I'm also going to be heating up on a low setting, the lowest setting, some olive oil, and I'm going to add some crushed garlic and then some herbs, basil and oregano, and the dried variety is fine for this, and some ground black pepper, and that will be the sauce for the pasta. So in the meantime, I'm going to take several cloves of garlic in my garlic press and just add them to the oil. I want to test one of these tortellini to see if they're done.
Can't you just use the old throw it against the wall trick?
Yeah, but it's more fun to eat it.
Oh, okay.
So I'll drain them. And then we're going to be using the same pot that I cooked the pasta in to sauce it and mix it, so we're not making a complete mess of the kitchen. Now, as I mentioned, I was going to be adding some dried herbs, oregano, and I just do this by the eyeball method, just a nice little palmful, and the same with the basil. Same thing, just a little palmful. Crush it and add it. And you can see that the oil is starting to simmer a little bit, but we don't want to let that garlic get brown because then it will taste bitter. So I'll just let this cook for a minute, and I'm going to add just some fresh ground black pepper to it too. So meanwhile, our water in the vegetable steamer is boiling. And tonight I'm going to use some broccoli, some chopped leeks, and some chopped green beans for our veggies. But again, you can put any kind of vegetables in that you like. So I'm going to start with the green beans because they take a little bit longer to steam than some of the others. You don't want them overcooked, I just want them kind of tender. So I'll add these and let them steam. Meanwhile, I'm going to put our pasta back into the pot. Oops.
What was that?
That's the garlic for my garlic bread. I'm just simmering it, supposedly simmering it in some water. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first I'm going to add the oil to the pasta before that gets too brown. And just give it a stir. The reason I'm boiling the garlic is I like to cook it till it's kind of soft, and then I chop it up. And I find that when we cook the garlic a little bit before we make the garlic bread, it makes it kind of mellow instead of so sharp and garlicky. There's already enough garlic in the pasta, so I wanted to just have the same garlic flavor but a little less pungency for our bread. And I think it makes a nice spread with the butter if you pre-cook the garlic in some water. Okay, the beans are ready. They're still crisp but yet tender. So I give them a quick drain in the colander, and then I put them on a towel. I'm going to just pat them dry a little bit because I found if they're still kind of wet when I add them to the oil, it sort of dilutes the taste of the garlic oil. So if they're dried off a little bit, I think it makes for a better dish. So then I'm just going to add these to our pasta. And then I'll add the broccoli to the steamer and steam that. Okay, so the garlic is now kind of soft. I just drained it and I'm going to chop it up and then add it to some softened butter. So I'm adding the chopped garlic into 1 stick of butter that I've softened enough that it'll be easy to mix it. My hands are going to smell lovely after this. So with the back of a spoon, I'm just incorporating the garlic into the butter. Okay, there's our garlic butter mixture. Before I put that on the bread, I'm going to add the last of the 3 veggies. These are just chopped leeks that you have to clean really well because they're very sandy ordinarily. So I cut the ends off and then split them in half lengthwise and run them under running water to get rid of any sand and grit. These won't take very long to steam, so I do these last. Bread. So now we have this nice spread, and I'm just going to put it on a loaf of Italian bread, but you can use whatever kind of bread you like. And before I wrap this up, I'm going to add a little bit of grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, or any kind of cheese you like. I just like a little cheese on the bread. I think it adds a little extra flavor to it. And then I reassemble the bread and wrap it up in foil and put that in the oven. You have to move. Move. Thank you. And check the leeks. And they're pretty soft, so we'll stop that process. And you don't have to use leeks. You could use onions or shallots, and you could even saute them in the oil if you like your onions done that way. I just like to steam the leeks when I'm using leeks. Add those as well. And give it a stir. Now I mentioned we were using up our leftover ham, so I've just cut up several slices of ham into small little chunks, and we'll add that into our dish as well. And again, stir it up. Now at this point we're ready to finish it off with the cheese. Again, back to our grated Parmesan cheese, or in this case the Romano, grated Romano. And again, this is all according to how much cheese you like in your dish, but I put quite a bit on there and I mix it to coat everything pretty well. And then I'm going to finish off with just some coarsely chopped fresh basil. I'm just going to kind of chop this roughly, and we'll add it to the hot pasta, and the heat of the pasta will wilt it. You can really smell that basil,
yeah.
huh? It's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It smells like summertime.
Yeah.
Here's the bread. I had opened it up in the oven so that the top crust could get a little bit crispy. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. I've dished up our pasta, and I'm just going to add a little bit of that same cheese that I used before over the top. And our bread's out of the oven. Are you ready to eat yet?
Does a ton of batter make a big biscuit?
Okay, I think that's a yes. All right, the moment of truth. Get some of everything.
Ham and some broccoli. Smells great.
Good?
Mmm. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Let me try some of this bread.
I'm going to try some. How's the bread? Pretty good?
Very good. Not too garlicky.
Very good.
Good job, Kim.
Thank you. So there you have it. That's a great dish when you have leftover ham and leftover veggies and you just want a quick supper. It also reheats really well, so it's a good make-ahead dinner for those nights when you don't have time really to fool around with making something from scratch.
But can I have this cold as well, right out of the refrigerator?
You can have it cold, but you can also make it with an Italian dressing or a vinaigrette dressing instead of the garlic oil, and serve it as a cold salad. And that would be really good too.
Great.
So it's versatile.
Great. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.
Bon appetit.